Welcome to this edition of Insights. And today we're looking at what do we do in light of the overwhelming situation we find ourselves in as Christians in this nation. If you've watched Insights for any length of time, you know that I and many others carry this burden for America. We continue to see our nation sow many seeds that we know are not going to produce good fruit. We're going to reap what we sow in this nation, and we currently are. And there's so many facets of this, but it gets so overwhelming. Like, what do we actually do? We're just one person in one corner of a neighborhood or apartment building or in office space. Like, what do we actually do? Because the overall situation is so overwhelming. I've had many people ask this question. So let me talk about this. What do we actually do to see God glorified in our own personal lives in light of trying to make a difference locally and not be so overwhelmed with the big situation? Well, first, Jesus talked about that we're supposed to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Now, that's true of anybody in any situation, in any nation, at any time. But how much more important this is for us in this day and hour, in this nation, when so many things could go shift towards godliness or shift towards bringing even greater trouble or even judgment to our nation. So first, let's just do what Jesus said. Let's be salt and light. Secondly, it says in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7, that we should be sober in our heart. In other words, we take things seriously for the purpose of prayer because Jesus' second coming is soon. If Peter said this 2,000 years ago, how much closer are we to that second coming now? My point being is this: we have got to pray and we've got to intercede and we've got to make a difference locally starting with our lives and families and then expanding out to our neighborhoods, our church, having more of the presence and power of God on it and moving within it, in our communities, and of course praying for the nation as well. But this is something we can all do: be sober in heart or spirit, and to move forward in faith through praying, asking God to change specific things that we know are not His will. I would also suggest that as we read various books of the Bible, that we see America has gone off track. We're off the reservation. We are not in alignment with God's will and ways, which of course even causes us to be more alarmed. But as we understand that, we need to have personally, each of us, a voice that would be similar to an Isaiah, a Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Amos, others that were speaking out as prophets in their day, alerting other people that this is not going to turn out well and that we need to humble ourselves. We need to repent first as believers, but then also help lost people come to faith. So before talking about lost people, I want to just really emphasize this, that we all need to find our voice when it comes to the national situation and what God thinks of it so that we can alert other people. Again, we have sowed so many seeds that this thing's going to unravel, or there could even be a great divine, devastating judgment that comes to our nation, and we need to alert other people. And if you find yourself needing help getting this prophetic now message of the nation out to your friends and family, people within your circle of influence, you can be aided by the Forerunners of America signature study, America in the Balance. The subtitle is God's Perspective on Nations and What to Do. And this will be enormously helpful for you to impact other people. And so I suggest going to forerunnersofamerica.org, click on Store, and there you'll find America in the Balance, both hard copies you can order through Amazon, as well as a free PDF. But either way, this can be very helpful to you getting the message out to more people and helping them come to their own conclusions, because the study is designed to help people understand the scriptures and look at our nation and come to their own conclusions. Now, getting to the lost. We should be sharing our faith as much as we possibly can, because every person that humbles themselves, every person that comes to faith, this is another person that can help in terms of expand God's kingdom and be salt and light in their sphere of influence. And last, in terms of what we can do, I would also suggest that we make sure that we've obeyed what John says. He says in 1 John, do not love the world nor the things in the world. Have we completely humbled ourselves and repented of every sin that's tethering us to this world system, this Americana that's always trying to pull on us and pull us away from spiritual things and the love of Christ and pull us more into materialism and being sexually charged and on the list goes. We have a culture that requires great discernment because even within the church, we often get mixed messages, whether it's in the area of sexuality or materialism or 100 other issues. We have got to be razor sharp ourselves in seeking God with a humble and holy heart. So if you feel overwhelmed about what's going on nationally, you're not alone. I feel that as well. Many that talk to me feel that way. Just simply start to identify what are the things that you can do today. And may God bless you on the journey. I look forward to being with you next week on Insights.